Nigeria Info. Good afternoon to you. Remember, the frequency is 92.3 Nigeria Info here, and the handle on Facebook, YouTube, and X. We're live Facebook, we're live on YouTube as well, active, interactive on X, Nigeria Info PH, the same for all three platforms. So just go online at Nigeria Info PH. All right, so as it is the custom, we will start with the big stories. And after the big stories, we would look at a topical conversation, the 4 o'clock hour. I would go to the West region, where there are talks about poor workers' welfare. And we'll look at those allegations and the civil service in general. And then the 5 o'clock hour, we would look at security in Rivers State, and I will be speaking with a security expert. And we'll look at how the state of emergency has affected or impacted security in Rivers State, talk about gunboats and all those that courted controversies a few weeks ago. So that will be the size, or that will be the structure of conversations for today. 6 o'clock will be the major news, and then possibly open season. And it promises to be an interesting conversation on the show from now up until then. All right, so let's start with the big stories. Several big stories, but I could only take three. And by the way, my name is Kalada Kurubatabo. For those of you who do not know, I guess that's the first big story. But now to the main big story. Uncertainty as Tinubu APC face 2027 without Buhari. Now, for those of you who are politically conscious, you would agree that, a political unit is as strong as the alliance that make up that unit. And, we group the political subunits into the various zones, north and south, right? And then we then further break them down into the geopolitical zones, right? Now, let's look at it from the angle that up until 2023, it looks like Buhari was the key man. The late Buhari was the key man in the northern part of Nigeria. Now we had other people like Atiku, Kwankwaso, who had the popularity, the political popularity. But every time we went to the polls, it seemed like Buhari was there at the top, right? We keep saying Atiku had failed, several electioneering cycles, I beg your pardon. But same with Buhari up until 2015, right? And every one time, Buhari, seemed like he had more popularity than the other northern candidates who vied for the presidential seat. I remember when the coalition was formed, Atiku had also moved, with that coalition and formed the APC, and Buhari emerged as the candidate that saw the APC move into Aso Rock 2015. So it brings the question, now that the late Buhari is gone, who will be that northern political giant that everybody would want to roll with, or everybody will believe he has the ability to amass as many votes as possible, or who can bring about an alliance from that northern part of the country, where a lot of the northern politicians would want to listen to that person. Remember, the northern parts of the northern part of Nigeria is structured in a way where they listen to, they move in unison, but somebody has to speak for them, or a group of people have to speak for them to listen, and they respect and see these people as, people they must follow. But now that Buhari is gone, it brings a big, in my opinion, and like reported on Daily Post, it brings a big headache for the president, because I'm wondering, who will he now lean towards in the northern part of the country? Some people said he had a somewhat bad rapport with the former president, the late former president. But whether their rapport was good or bad, they had the working relationship. They were working based on an agreement that saw the formation of the APC back then in 2013. And that's why you may have heard, the president at the time of campaign say, it's my turn. And I'm guessing he was making reference to that alliance, that agreement. There are also stories, unverified stories, that the president may not be in good terms with his vice. We're not certain, we're not sure, unverified once again. But who most likely would not be the king of the north? That's the question. As you know, there is a coalition for the APC to face or battle with. By the way, Atiku Abubakar has resigned from the PDP. That's also one big news that we can talk about in relation to this northern political restructuring, so to say. Atiku was resigned. I guess it's paying full attention now to the coalition, ADC. I'm wondering if this resignation is coming from a place of confidence. Could it be he understands that there's going to be a shift in the political scene in the northern part of the country? By the way, it was Abdul Salami who also said that Buhari's death will bring about such a shift. So how are you relating to this story? Daily Post, I beg your pardon. Daily Post, made an article out of it. Others are talking about it. It's on social media. It is also trending. And I'm wondering, on social media earlier, they were saying Kwankwaso should be, the Kwankwasia movement should be the new king of the north. Everybody's been talking about Buhari. People are saying, if you look at the news today, Buhari, there's not much happening. Everybody's talking about, but not many people have looked at it from the lens that I'm looking at it from now, that there's going to be a power shift in the north, and it's likely going to affect how elections will, go, or the results in 2027. Your thoughts, really, I like to know. Well, let's now move to my second big story. And my second big story is just as interesting as the first, right? Trying to address something here in the studio. But yeah, my second big story is as interesting as the first.
The show continues after this break. On night.
First, there was, some distraction in the studio, and then the abrupt commercial play. But I'm back. And for those of you joining, you're welcome. Hard Facts, it is the Big Stories segment. And we're looking at the big stories making the rounds right about now. I talked about the first big story, and I said there is going to be a power shift in the north now that Buhari is late. And I'm wondering how Tinubu and the APC will navigate those waters. And it's interesting, the conversation. I'd like to get your thoughts on that one. And then I was about telling you about the second big story, as interesting as the first. And it is that, a federal high court has vindicated, is that the word, has cleared Fayose, former governor of Ekiti State, of allegations of money laundering. And the reason is because the EFCC failed to present a beyond the doubt kind of case. There are still doubts in the cases or in the exam or whatever they presented before the court. I don't know the legal word to use there. But the FCC, according to the court, did not do a good job. And it's interesting for a big story. I mean, it's not one of those sensational big stories, but it is still interesting nonetheless. And I want you to give me a minute to explain how interesting it is. We always hear that corruption is eating deep into the fabrics of our society. Oh, our politicians are corrupt. Now you see why I always tell you, when you say that person is corrupt, I tell you don't go that way. It's not because the conversations are not out there. It is because we do not have enough evidence. And the EFCC, that is saddled with that responsibility to go out there and fish out these pieces of evidence, have failed over and over and over again. And you know what? When the news broke earlier today, I was asking myself, why is it difficult for the EFCC to get, a reasonable amount of evidence so that suspected politicians, I'm not saying Fayose or any other politician is a corrupt person or a thief, or I'm not that kind of a person. However, I'm saying, if majority of Nigerians believe that there is corruption in the corridors of power, how come not one person? Okay, that would be exaggeration. We had the former president Muhammadu Buhari give a presidential pardon to former governors who were sent to the correctional facility for corruption and corrupt activities. But I get that part. But why is it so difficult? I mean, 2 out of the majority of the plethora of cases of corruption in government. And someone said, what about Oji Kalu? Even that case, Oji Kalu was not the one directly sent. It was sent in all right, in association, I would call it. There was a company, I believe, that was, and then Senator Oji Kalu. So where's the EFCC, or why is the EFCC finding it so difficult? And it's a food for thought, right? And once again, I'm not saying Fayose is guilty, neither am I saying he's innocent. I'm not the court. I do not have that power. I'm not even insinuating. But the angle I'm coming from is, if we all argue, or majority of us argue, I mean, if you just ask a typical Nigerian, an average Nigerian, do you think government is corrupt or the politicians are corrupt? I mean, you would guess the answer. So why is it difficult for the EFCC to do due diligence before going to court? And then it got me thinking. Every now and then, I'm always coming on radio to shout a perpetual injunction in River State. What is the guarantee that even if the perpetual injunction is lifted, that the EFCC would be able to get the corrupt politicians? I'm not saying all of them are corrupt, or I'm not saying any particular one is corrupt. But what is the guarantee that those who have had their hands corrupted will be brought to book? What is that guarantee? Anyways, that's the angle I'm looking at the Fayose story from, and I think it's a big deal. Trust me, it is, because we keep saying the economy is dipping, Nigeria is not great as it should be. We keep having these conversations, but corruption is like the major factor why there is that negativity when we talk at the Nigerian economy and other parts of Nigeria. So I'd like to get your thoughts on that one. But to my third big story, and I find this story hilarious. Hilarious in the sense that we are decrying inflation. We are decrying the cost of living. We are decrying the fact that, things, especially the economy, should be better given our resources, given our potential. And since Tinubu became president, we have decried the prices of energy as resources. I'm talking about petrol, I'm talking about diesel, I'm talking about cooking gas, I'm talking about, all the things, even electricity you can think of, right? and that's of gas. And if marketers are not willing, I will distribute the gas myself so that Nigerians can have access to quality gas, that's cooking gas, at a low price. And the marketers are furious. And the marketers are protesting. And they said, hey, no, this is a sign of monopoly. Dangote is about to monopolize the gas sector. As a matter of fact, he's going to monopolize the energy sector. He has got a major influence in diesel sales or the pricing of diesel. He's got a major influence in the pricing of petrol. He's now going into gas supply. No, monopoly. We don't want that. Hey, what's happening? Yeah, the marketers are protesting. The marketers are furious. The marketers are not having it. So I brought it to the court of public opinion. I want to get your thoughts on that one. What do you think? Are you afraid of monopoly? Because if indeed it monopolizes that sector, eventually maybe the prices would not be in favor of the Nigerian population. Or are you saying, you know what, we need a breather? Let's just enjoy this crash for now. Let's just enjoy it since NNPCL is not able to give we the Nigerian population what we need. I mean, they told us 30 days to rehabilitate or to repair our refinery or to maintain our refineries, and now it's way beyond 30 days. Maybe we should just depend on Dangote. So what are your arguments? I'd like to hear. I'm going to the phone lines now. Excited about my big stories. Once again, not the normal sensational, politicians fighting kind of headline that made the news, but issues really concerning the development of our nation. First, politics as it relates to 2027, power shift in the northern part of the country. Is it Atiku? Is it Kwankwaso? Who is going to take the King of the North title now that Buhari is gone? Who's going to be able to bring as much votes as we saw Buhari in 2015 and even before 2015, right? 2019 as well. And some would say even in 2023. All right, to the phone line, 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003, 0817-923-0007. For WhatsApp, send messages to this number, 0809-0306-416. What are your thoughts? We're live on Facebook. I read your Facebook comments. Nigerians for PHS to handle. Live on YouTube as well. Nigerians for PHS the handle, and active on X. Nigeria Info PH 92.3 Nigeria Info. Good afternoon. Welcome.
Good afternoon, my brother Kalada.
Tell me your name, your location, your contribution.
My name is Comrade Clinton. I'm calling from Buhari.
All right, let's hear your thoughts then.
Yeah, of a truth, the demise of the former president Muammar Musa Yar'Adua.
I don't know what you've called two different presidents' name. Okay, the network even cut you off. I wonder what happened there, Clinton. You told Yar'Adua and Muhammadu in the same sentence. I wonder what's happening. But I've got Ifeanyi, and Ifeanyi is calling from Onelga. Ifeanyi, welcome. Let's get your thoughts.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yes, on the eye of Fayose issue, I want to begin to see the EFCC as a body that tries to indicate. I know, like you rightly said, they are deficient in terms of generating resources, in terms of providing evidence. But now, what if you can see the EFCC as a body that tries to say, look, this person, we are suspecting this person should be, like in the UK, the evidence to incriminate a person is not even behoved upon the body that is pointing an accusing finger. Mm-hmm.
Really?
It's within that body that yes.
I'm shocked. I mean, before the FBI or I'm trying to. Is it the MI? What they call them in the UK? I do not know.
The burden of providing evidence. Burden of evidence.
It's in the accuser, not the defendant. I mean, IFIH is the defendant. It's not supposed to provide evidence to the people. I don't know if you're getting me wrong.
Exactly
getting me right.
Point. He should not provide any evidence to defend himself. The FCC is saying that he is a corrupt politician. That is what it means, and it's for us to understand the inner workings of that. We have it's a long list of them. We have Buhari, we have Alamesea. it's not new. Corrupt politicians in our political sphere is not a new thing. But the question is, when does it end?
All right. I'm struggling to understand you, but you're saying that the EFCC should be the ones that provide evidence. Did I get you right?
Yes. My point exactly with the EFCC on that is that they should be the ones to indicate. It makes the work easier for them. Once they indicate that this is the person we are suspecting, then another agency can go in, like the ICPC, so that job now of trying to generate evidence will not be wholly upon the EFCC.
All right.
Well, what if we are overboard?
Okay, so you're saying, now I get you. You're saying it should be a collaborative effort between all agencies of government. Oh, I get you now. All right, thank you, Fai. Joseph from Elime. Joseph, welcome. Let's get your thoughts quickly, please. Yeah, please be audible. I can hear you.
Okay. On the statement from NNPCL, I do not think that statement should have come from them.
Is it from NNPCL? Did I mention that? Joseph, did I? Oh, sorry about that. I didn't mention NNPCL. I said marketers. JJ from Rumigbo, welcome. Let's get your thoughts, please.
Yeah, Canada. I may not be from Canada. I greet you this morning.
I agree. It's afternoon. I'm on the afternoon now. I'm not on the morning.
Canada.
Yeah.
When you are following the American election, the areas they call the swing state.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
A state that may not be too certain for a certain political party and all those put together. So I think that's what the North, that's the position that the demands of our president are from the North right now. They can swing towards anywhere. And swing towards Atiku, you can swing towards, it depends on whatever effort they want to put in place now to make sure that they can pacify them, and that will now make them right now because the 21 million vote man is no longer there, so everybody will struggle for the North. Then
before you move, JJ, who's likely, to, like you said, swing it in their favor? Who's likely to control the 21 million votes you mentioned?
The president also has a very big opportunity to swing it towards the side. You also have the Atiku and the Kwankwaso factor and some other persons. So they can swing towards anywhere. Really the 21 million gang.
All right.
Then that said, I remember my own governor, James Ibori, who they tried here, they said for lack of diligence and all those, the case was thrown out, just like this one. And he went to London, just case file that they showed him, he pleaded guilty. Well, I don't know whether we should go for training in London and know how they do it, because the EFCC was everywhere. Oh, we'll get Fayose. And Fayose was the one that bought a T-shirt and
reported himself one day after his time was done in office.
That you're saying your tenure was too overdid it. What investigation did you make? And the man came to himself, and today now, no case submission. For marketers, God has not made them to be the weapon fighting against us. If Dangote want to own everything and make sure that Nigerians get gas, is it not the same gas that flying now in Escavos, OBOB, and everywhere?
All right, JJ, thank you. I've got to listen to Clinton from Buhari. Clinton, welcome on the show. Hilarious it is, but let's hear your thoughts.
Yeah, so sorry, I mentioned to President like you said.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to refer to Buhari, the late Buhari. Yes, he was a mega player in the North. Now he's dead, and I think that the likes of Kwankwaso and Tambuwa, but I believe Kwankwaso has puts more weight than the rest of them. And
so, do you think he'll be able to unite the northern part of the country? Remember, Buhari had that ability, that aura.
Yes, I believe so. The Kwankwasia movement have that capacity to unite the elites of the North. I think that is the big fish in the North now that all politicians will try to swing to move in that direction. So Mr. President happens to be the friend of Kwankwaso, and we are even hearing rumors that he will likely be the next vice president to Mr. President.
Interesting.
So I think it's a very good calculation. Then on the issue of the court acquitting Fayose, the kind of system we run in Nigeria is one that everyone is concerned about. Was he actually acquitted because he was not guilty?
The court said not enough evidence, no prima facie case again.
That's just the language of the court. If you go to electric tribunal, they will tell you that the evidence you provided was not able.
But you see, Clinton, don't blame the court for this. Do not, please, because what the court thrives on is evidence. You have to, and I use the word or the phrase beyond reasonable doubt. If there is an atom of doubt, then it's wrong for the court to rule.
Canada, how do you know that the evidence provided was not beyond reasonable doubt?
Because the court say that. I mean, I want to believe the court.
We are at the mercy of the court. When we do election, we provide evidence at the election tribunal. They say that it's not enough.
So you are not in the courts. You are looking at it from a distance. Whether you like it or not, and I say this since I say it again. We may, from this vantage point, say, "Oh, corruption has has covered everywhere in government." But do we have the evidence
of a truth, Kalada? I cannot generalize that all our judiciary, our lawyers and barristers, our judges are corrupt. I can't say that. But I would say that the system is actually flawed.
All right.
And we need to actually rejig the system.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Wala from Oyibo. Good. Oh, wow. I missed that one. But let's read some messages now, because a lot of messages pouring in via the WhatsApp platform, and we will be able to talk after that. I'll take some more calls. This one says, "Hello, Canada, my good friend. It is interesting you asked this question. Who will be the next political giant after the late Buhari? Well, the North has lost their chances. Neither Atiku nor Kwankwaso is justifiable to fit into that shoe. No one for now." And if you say no one for now, how does that, affect or impact the election coming in 2027? Fidelis Elemuwa from Chokochoiche says, "It will be very difficult for Tinubu to win any part of the North come 2027. Never say never, I would always say. But let's come here. This is good afternoon, KDB. Tinubu may not return to power come 2027 because the northern politicians are already having a strong alliance as we speak. RFI will be the new northern political leader. With the burial of our former president, he will not see any other thing to threaten them as it did in 2023, where the northern politicians played a smart one." Malachi from Port Harcourt. RFI, does RFI have that ability to unite the North? I guess we'll wait and see. This one says, "Good afternoon, Canada. When Dangote announced the distribution of petroleum products directly to Nigerians, these marketers, and now he said directly to Nigerians. I don't get that part. And he said now he wants to reduce gas price. These marketers are protesting in the name of monopoly by Dangote instead of buying from sources to compete with Dangote. This shows how these marketers have been exploiting Nigerians before the inception of the Dangote refinery, and they are behind the death of the public refineries for their selfish interests. The marketers are the real enemy of Nigerians, and they are the ones monopolizing this section for DCS. Or the sector, I think he meant to say. Dangote should go ahead with his policies best in Port Harcourt. Okay. This one says, "Good day, Canada. Please, Dangote, I know his way will do to us what he did in the case of cement. Let everyone interested in the business of gas be allowed to." Ima Otaka in Choba. And this one says, "Hello, Chief K. Let me tell you, on Fayose, no matter the evidence before the court is provided by EFCC, once there is a political interest in that matter, there can never be enough evidence to convince the court. Even if the EFCC provides all the needed evidence, the Nigerian court will use technicalities that lacks merits in their usual word. Before the EFCC will win any case against any politician in Nigeria, the politician must be in the black book of the ruling government." From Hector. So if you say must be in the black book, are you saying there is no politician currently in the black book of the government in power? Think about it. Emi Fiaga calling via WhatsApp. Emi, welcome. Yeah, good afternoon to you. Welcome.
Based on the question you asked, who withdrew the votes of the North?
Yeah.
based on my own acquaintances with the voting pattern, setting at the yes and the not. They want power to
Emmy, I'm sorry, the network is really unstable. I would have to stop that call. But let's listen to Obed from Port Harcourt. Obed, welcome. Good afternoon. What's on your mind, please?
Good afternoon, Canada.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yes, Canada, issue of EFCC. I think EFCC, they are not doing their job properly. You understand? If it was in Nigeria, the former governor of Delta State would have been working, would have worked free.
I mean, he's working freely. He's working freely in
He's
Nigeria.
working freely here in Nigeria, but he has served his term now. Over there. You understand? Let's not forget what happened in that case. So they should do their job properly before they will come out to public, just like what they did after Fayose was about to exit office there. They put up a certain, they come up with a certain post where they are trying to make mockery of him because his preferred candidate then could not win a state. You understand? I think I could still remember when they say the cloak of immunity is no longer there. They say something like
When
that.
Fire Me won, yeah, I remember.
Yes, they just come up with this kind of thing without investigate. Have something to name him. I don't know where he is right now. That's because we are having monumental corruption. You understand? In our system. That's why myself, I equally doubt the integrity of the former president who they just buried right now. Who of course under him, several things went underground. You understand? The former governor of Kano State that was caught on camera after investigation by one Japan. That matter is still there, not prosecuted till today. So EFCC, they are not doing anything. They are failures, honestly. Right. I must tell you for free.
All right. Obed, moving on. Daniel from Imo Gates. Daniel, welcome.
Good afternoon, my brother Kalada.
Yeah, Chinky Daniel, it's good to have you on the show. Yeah.
Well, my brother, we all know it, those dumb business, that the laws in Nigeria is made for the commoners.
Okay.
Yes, I have this to say because is it Alamesia? Yes. What happened? They gave him presidential pardon.
Yeah.
Think of it. If it were ordinary man on the street that still maybe handed, those around there will hang a fire on his neck and get him burned. But then, that is, what do they call it? What justice. But another one is, what about Bode George? I didn't know whether he served his own term. That when he was released, he received a heroic welcome, down parties on the street to welcome him. What are we talking about? The law is just for the commoners. And again about Dangote, I think one day I joined a bus that was conveying other trailer drivers from One to Refinery Junction. They were not happy that the fuel price is coming down. We are our own problem.
All right, we are our own problem. Thank you very much. Interesting. Hello, man of the people. On Fayose's matter, EFCC and the courts allegedly are departments of the ruling party. No corrupt politician connected to the party in power will be left off the hook. Corruption cannot fight corruption, Pastor Vincent. But Ayo Fayose is not connected, is he? I think he's off the PDP, last time I checked. Well, let's come here. Just with respect to the North and its traditional rulers that happen to be the best compared to other areas in Nigeria, if you say Atiku is now the political leader of the North, it will be nice, but not king of the North, because the Sultan still remains the king of the North. Atiku is not trustworthy for the North to give such a title, Momo from Jare. When I say king of the North, I'm talking politics now. I mentioned it from the beginning that we're talking politics from the political scene. When I say king of the North, it's just like we say, it's figurative. It's a figurative statement. So don't take it literally, please. I'm not talking about him being a traditional ruler. But let's come here. This one says Dangote to crash LPG and marketers crime foul, saying it is accusing Dangote of monopoly or monopolizing the cooking gas sale. For me, it's a welcome development. Dangote can go ahead to provide for the poor masses. Henry Woko from Impolu Junction or Impolu community. And this one says, you will wait forever for EFCC to do anything about corruption amongst Nigerian politicians. They have deliberately decided to do nothing. Even the blind knows what the politicians have done to us. Looting leaders. And that's from Kano. Cost them looting leaders. But there's no evidence. Where's your evidence? And Simply Goodness says, congratulations to Fayose. The EFCC is a very unserious body. Up till now, the EFCC boss hasn't resigned though, even after failing to arrest Yahya Bello. For who will be the king of the north? I don't see one particular gladiator wearing that crown because there are many powerhouses resident in that region of the country. But if I'm to look into my crystal ball, I will tip Kwankwaso. Finally, those marketers should respect themselves. So if Dangote wants to crash the price of cooking gas for now, why not? I welcome it wholeheartedly. And this one says, Atiku and Kwankwaso will control the over 12 million of votes late President Buhari controlled. Marketers are the real enemies. Allow Dangote to do what he knows how to do. Oike Odinaka, thank you very much. And this one says, Melody in report, the situation is like what happened in the absence of the shepherd. The flock scattered. There will be multi-power blocks now in the north. Kwankwaso can muzzle absolute power because of the Hausa-Fulani dichotomy. Political power resides with Fulani, but Kwankwaso is Hausa. The region is open for grabs for any politician that plays his card well. Okay, all right. Good political analysis, I would say. Do I have time? This one says, in my opinion, Nasser El-Rufai is the clear front runner to emerge as the next prominent northern political leader. I am highly confident in this. What do you say? You're highly confident in your postulation or your prediction. I've got to go. Commercial break. Do stay tuned.